of the things that we have discussed now is equals equals and equals 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 and objectives and function, but the concept of it remains a little bit off, right? So what is exactly the logic behind strict equality and loose equality? What does it mean exactly to like what is the difference between a plus zero and a minus zero, right? So that's what we are going to discuss in this. So something like, let's say, let a equals 0, right? Let b equals minus 0, right? And we are going to say console.log, and we are going to say a equals b, right? And we are going to see if and how that works. So if I go to inspect, I go to console, I see there's a true here. It means that plus 0 and minus 0 are essentially the same thing. But what if I say a equals b? Sorry, a equals b, right? And if I do this, so I see still true, right? What if now I say something like b is false, right? Then I will see a false. Why? So if I comment it down, 0 is false and 1 is true, right? 0 equals minus 0 is basically saying false is false, which is true, right? If I say 0 equals minus 0, it's basically saying false is false, which is true, right? But if I say something like 0 equals false, then it's saying that it has to match the fact that it's 0 with false, right? Now false and 0 in terms of like valuation are not exactly equal. We just assume that 0 is false, 1 is true, but technically they are two separate entities, right? Which is false, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you have something like a 0 and a minus 0, essentially they are the same thing, but not quite, right? So you're saying they're loosely equal but not strictly equal. So when they're loosely equal, something like a equals will say, yeah, 0 and minus 0, yeah, they don't make a difference and they are equal, so they I will return it as a true. If I say 0 and minus 0 and I have a equals, yeah, I think that's still true. But if I have a 0 equals false, yeah, essentially they are correct. Essentially they are the same value, but not quite exactly, like, because I am saying one of the values is a number data type, one of them is a boolean data type. It doesn't match. The boolean is not equals to the number data type, so I won't consider it as true and I will return a false. So this is strict equality. This is loose equality. This is more like same value 0. That's what you are saying. So that's the difference between same value 0 and loose equality and strict equality. And if you go to this detailed table by MD and docs, you can kind of go through this and you will find out. So there's a table, right, that says equals object is and same value 0. So if you have 0 and 0, it returns true in all cases. If you have a plus 0 and a minus 0, so only equals and equals will say like they are true, uh, they are true, but uh, in same value 0 they will also return true, but in case of object is they will say it's a false, right? Because object is following the strict equality format here. If you go through 0 and false, only equals will say they are true. Everything else will say that they are false. They don't match really, right? So that's what you're trying to do. So I'll put this in the link of this video and you can kind of go through it. But the essential difference is this, like different conditional operators will kind of let you choose, you know, what kind of equality you are checking, and that will define whether you define true or false accordingly. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.